Good morning, campers.
Good morning, sir.
I hate it when he's perky.
I love it when he hates it.
Listen, everybody, I have got some really great news.
Don't tell me. You're gonna be the poster boy for conjunctivitis.
It's not definite yet, but it looks as if we're getting a new class member, Billy Chin.
The Billy Chin?
Oh, the Billy Chin. Who's he?
Only one of the smartest high school students on the East Coast, possibly in the country.
I know him personally. His parents moved in from Queens, and he's coming to Fillmore.
Why does he have to come here?
Yeah, why?
Well, because I convinced him that Fillmore is the superior school.
Well, congratulations, Arvid. You've just won the Dweeb of the Year award.
Yeah, Arvid, that was stupid.
Wait, he's great. You know him. Why is that stupid?
Not knowing why it's stupid's really stupid.
Well, call me stupid, but I need a clue.
Look, everybody knows Billy Chin is brilliant. He is talented, and he's the #1 brain in the city. Who needs him?
Right, I mean, he'd be superfluous.
Yeah, we got kind of a natural flow going.
We are very close, Mr. Moore.
Yeah, we're like a family. A loving, nurturing, caring, close-knit unit.
Except for Arvid, who betrayed us.
Now, tell me the real reason.
He's going to disrupt the grading curve.
And our class rankings.
Not to mention your egos.
Don't be ridiculous. I don't have an ego.
Come on. Now, we are talking about somebody who would be an asset to this class. He'd bring fresh energy, a fresh point of view.
You make him sound like a room deodorizer.
The fact is, if Billy Chin wants to join the class, he will.
I guess we just have to take in a deep breath and accept it.
Hey, we can be gracious people. We'll welcome Billy Chin with open arms.
Good.
And then we'll hang Arvid by his thumbs.
Hey, great news.
We've had enough of your great news for 1 week.
No. I found the charter directive of the individualized honors program. I think I found a loophole.
You found a loophole. Great.
Look, it says it right here. At no time shall the program exceed the maximum of 10 students, which means Billy Chin can't join even if he wants to.
That's right, because we have 10 now.
So I'm off the hook, right?
Hold on. That thing just says that there has to be 10 students. It doesn't say which 10.
You're not suggesting Dr. Samuels would dump one of us for Billy Chin.
Think about it. What does the portly dude in the front office value more than anything else?
Blue jeans with a skosh more room?
She means the academic Olympic team.
Yeah, that man would sell his mother to make it stronger.
No. Dr. Samuels loves us. He wouldn't cut one of our throats just to win some crummy citywide competition and maybe the state finals and national championship. Oh, my God, what have I done?
Good morning, everyone. Well, all these long faces ought to go very well with the lesson I have for you this morning. A little ditty that I like to call.
Excuse me, Mr. Moore. Class, say hello to one of the foremost people in secondary education today, Mr. Billy Chin.
Hi. Oh, hi, Arvid.
Hi, Billy.
I'm giving Billy the VIP tour of our hallowed halls. Billy, this is contemporary history. Why don't you take a seat right here at the head of the class? Maria, thank you. You know, son, you're going to be in some pretty fast company here. Class, the 10th of October, 1938.
Germany occupies the Sudetenland.
The Monsieur function, Dennis?
The negative of the Helmholtz function divided by the thermodynamic temperature.
Of course. The 1st of January, 1984.
The 200th anniversary of 1784.
He's not on the team. Jawaharlal.
Major General Buhari becomes ruler of Nigeria.
Define a muon. The big A.
What it is, it's exactly...
Billy?
A subatomic particle of the lepton family. Its charge is equal to that of an electron. Muons are produced by the decay of pions, kaons, and hyperons.
That's right. Well, I knew that.
Well, Off to the library. After you, son. I'm sure he's read everything in it. Go team!
Well, I really don't see a problem. Seemed like a very nice young man.
That's what they said about Damien in Omen 2.
I think it's going to happen. I think I have got him. With Billy Chin on the team, I can send everyone to the showers. Push comes to shove.
We've got to ask Mr. Moore to talk to Dr. Samuels.
Oh, how can Mr. Moore do anything? Dr. Samuels won't listen to him. This is a disaster.
Yeah, you're right.
Who asked you?
Now, I guess it's just a question of who's going to go.
Well, I know who ought to go. See if you can guess. He acts like Benedict Arnold. He looks like Pee Wee Herman.
Wait a minute, you mean me?
You got us into this, pal.
Well, wait a minute. Why me? I mean, if somebody has to be sacrificed, Eric, he's not even on the academic team.
Oh, believe me, I would love to be off of this geek farm. There's just one problem. My mother. I mean, she'd rearrange Samuel's anatomy if you booted me out of here.
Don't you just love how the tough guy in a leather jacket's always hiding behind his mother?
Oh. I admit it would be a lot easier to hide behind your mother. Aren't you forgetting one thing? Samuels can't stand you.
Hey, you know, that's right. Samuels would love to see you go.
Oh, this is how we treat a friend.
Some friend, they borrowed money from each and every one of us.
Yep, and not paid it back.
Yeah.
That is no reason for you all to turn on me like a pack of wild animals. There's your man. Let's not forget how he conveniently got sick on us during the meet with the Russians.
Yeah.
Right.
I had stomach trouble.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no guts.
Low blow, Dennis.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's be honest. We all know Warhol all chickened out on us. But there'd be a lot more room around here if Dennis left.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
You want to play rough? You want to play rough? Fine. At least I'm stable, unlike Miss Squeaky Frome over here.
He's right. Maria's cuckoo.
Well, what about the meet with Bronx Science when Simone choked up on us? See?
Are you people really this insecure? You're acting like a bunch of paranoid vultures.
Oh, and you're that secure, huh?
Yeah, Dr. Samuels would never dream of unloading his perfect little princess, would he?
Well, I can't help it if I'm perfect.
Get real. What about that car you stole?
Wait a minute.
I didn't steal a car. The neighbors left their keys in the car and I moved it for them.
Into the living room?
I said sorry. Listen, all Dr. Samuels is going to look at are our grades, right? And the person with the lowest GPA is Sarah.
Oh, yeah, she's got a point.
That was low. That was so low, I can't find you. And you're supposed to be my best friend.
Way to go, Sarah. That is the way to nail her.
What do we need a 10-year-old kid in here for? Why don't you go to college where you belong?
Stop it! Stop it! Just stop it! Now, I'm ashamed of all of us. I thought we had something special together. I thought we were a family. Now, I'll quit if the rest of you will stop attacking each other.
Simone, I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you. We'll miss you and we'll never forget your sacrifice.
Just a minute, Senator. What about you? Do you really think that you're invulnerable?
Frankly, yes. In all modesty, I present the right image for the program. I'm not a slob computer geek. I'm not a stereotypical nerd. And I'm certainly not a prepubescent freak. Not to mention the most important factor. I'm Dr. Samuel's favorite.
Oh, right. You mean you were Dr. Samuel's favorite. Did you see the way Samuels was all over Billy Chin?
Looks like it's bye-bye, big shot.
I don't think so, darling. No, wait. We're forgetting something. Billy Chin is a mathematical genius. And the fact of the matter is, we don't need 2 math jockeys on the team.
Oh, you certainly don't.
Wait a minute. You don't mean that.
Yeah, I do mean.
Well, I thought we were friends. Doesn't that count for anything? Oh, please don't do this to me, Dennis, please.
Arvid.
Please don't do this.
Arvid, why don't you try to hold on to what's left of your dignity? Don't make this any messier than it is. Do you think it's easy for me to say these things?
Yes, I think it is. You are a shallow, selfish, egocentric, insensitive, greedy, superfluous, glutinous mass of hypocrisy, sadism, and all.
Are you just about through?
No, you also interrupt me.
I don't know what the trouble is here, but you do have a few minutes before class begins, so why don't you settle it amongst yourselves? Incidentally, I applaud the absence of hard-edged weapons.
Look, this is getting us nowhere. I say we vote on who leaves, all right?
Okay. And whoever gets the most votes goes to Dr. Samuels and voluntarily resigns, unless there are any objections.
Not at all.
Ditto. Jawar Halal.
Oh.
Well, so much for your stupid idea of voting. Everybody got 1 vote.
Stuff it, Alan. If I could get just one person to switch votes, you'd be out of here.
You got about as much chance of doing that as getting the ERA passed.
He's gone.
Wait a minute, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Okay, freeze. Talk to me. Anybody. What's going on?
Billy Chin is coming here.
Yeah, so we were voting to see who leaves.
What? Someone is leaving?
It's the IHP charter, Mr. Moore. It says the class can't exceed 10 students.
So, Billy Chin is in, and you're voting one of you out. That is cold.
But it was good in one way. The truth came out.
Yeah, at least now we know what we think about each other.
Yeah, no more phony friendships.
Yeah, I sure learned a lot about friendship and loyalty and hypocrisy and betrayal.
Hey, Arv, anyone ever tell you you're even more of a jerk when you're angry?
Oh, did you hear that?
Okay, hold it. That's enough. That's enough. Now, it so happens that I just came from a chance meeting with Dr. Samuels in the faculty lounge, where he's retching in an ashtray. Because he just learned, it seems, that Billy Chin is going to Bronx Science. So, you can relax.
Listen, everybody. I think we all said some things we didn't mean before, but I'm confident that we can put it all behind us and come together as friends. Right?
Put a sock in it, Simone.
Yeah, it's a little too late for that Pollyanna act of yours, of which I'm getting extremely tired.
Alan, kiss off.
Well, it's nice to be a happy little family again, isn't it? So, let's go to school. The 1987 Disarmament Conference, filled with infighting, manipulation, obstructionism, dissension. And that was just the American side. The Russians had their own problems. The rest of us, living under the threat of a nuclear nightmare, wallow in our own petty emotions. Anger, frustration, impatience.
An increasingly typical portrait of today's teenagers. Is it our fault or society's?
I've never seen such smart kids do so many dumb things to each other.
Then again, we are society. You know, I think the real problem is that people don't even listen anymore.
I destroyed the academic team. I didn't mean to do it. I was trying to make them invincible. Look what happened. I blew it with Billy Chin and the rest of the kids. Well, they can't function because they hate each other's guts.
1943 Philadelphia Athletics.
What does this have to do with anything?
They hated each other, too?
And they won the World Series anyway, right?
Yes?
No. Last place, 50 games out.
Is this supposed to make me feel better?
No. gives me an idea. Your essays on the Geneva disarmament talks?
Well, I can't find my grade here.
Oh, just look for the giant flashing F.
I can't find mine either.
It's right there on the top.
Okay? You gave me an okay?
No, I gave you an okay.
Where's my grade?
That is your grade.
Mine just says not bad. What's that mean?
It's better than not good.
Bitchin'?
Mr. Moore, what is this?
Well, it's no big deal. I just decided to stop giving you grades till after the semester.
What? Mr. Moore, you're putting our academic standing in serious jeopardy.
Yes, this is going to affect our grade point average, our entire future.
Pardon my frankness, Mr. Moore, but this is a dumb idea. There are rules you have to follow. You can't do this.
Wrong, Sarah. I can do anything. I'm the teacher. Morning, everybody. Yesterday's pop quizzes. Come and get them.
Hey, I got a 4 out. I'm getting better.
This is a grade. Talk to me, Mama.
A buffo. So far, I've gotten a groovy and a buffo.
You're doing good.
Mr. Moore, I think it's only fair to tell you that you're about to run into some very serious opposition.
Oh, yeah?
We don't like getting something like Zowie Plus for a grade.
You don't?
We're prepared to have our parents form an action committee.
Oh, you are?
And send a petition.
And hire a killer lawyer.
A lawyer. I'm not used to making passionate speeches.
You're not?
I have to warn you, we're really fired up about this, and we're going to take this one all the way to the mall.
Mr. Moore, this isn't fair. We need grades.
You do?
Okay, forget about me for a moment. What about Sarah?
Well, what about her?
She's worked too hard for you to mess it up now.
Oh, she has?
Think about Maria. She's a grade junkie.
She is.
You can't ask her to go cold turkey. It could push her over the edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Arvid needs real grades to get into MIT.
He does?
Yes! He's not going to get in with his personality.
And Caltech is considering Dennis for a scholarship. They know they'll never get the tuition out of him.
Now, you owe me at least 35.
Please, reconsider.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I give up.
That's it? You're caving in just when you had these bedwetters on the ropes?
You win. I'll start giving you grades again.
All right. Wait a minute. I think we've been taken for a ride.
Yes, you have. And the bus stops in Philadelphia.
Well, that narrows this down to the Liberty Bell, Dick Clark, or cream cheese.
Baseball. 1943 Philadelphia Athletics. They weren't doing very well because they hated each other. And their manager, the legendary Connie Mack, decided if they hated him instead of each other, at least they'd be doing something together as a team. Now, unfortunately, it didn't work for the Athletics because even when they were together as a team, they weren't very talented. But you're different. And it goes without saying that you're going to get in all the best schools and you're going to be successful. But do you want to be the kind of people that sacrifice your friends or people you don't even know because of your own fears?
You know, it got ugly in here.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Right. I mean, things went too far even for me. And I meant half the things I said.
Mr. Moore, can I say something to my buddy Arvid? Arvid, I'm sorry I blamed everything on you and made you the scapegoat for the whole thing. I didn't mean it, and I really hope you can forgive me.
Well, thank you, Dennis, and I hope you'll forget that I called you a zit looking for a place to happen.
didn't call me that.
Oh, I was going to, but you interrupted me again. But I know that underneath it all lies a heart of pure friendship.
Isn't that sweet? Young nerds in love.
Excuse me, Mr. Moore. We have a visitor.
Hi. Hi, Arvid.
Hey, Billy.
I just wanted to say to you all that I was really impressed when I visited here. And explain that the reason why I chose Bronx Science was, well, it wasn't because it's a better school or anything, but fact is, my girlfriend goes there. But hey, you guys are great. You know, the one thing I like the most about this class is you all stick together. None of that cutthroat competition stuff that you usually see. Well, anyways, good luck, and I'll see you around. One big happy family. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Guess there are some things even Billy Chin doesn't know. Don't feel bad. Maybe you could talk his girlfriend into transferring to Fillmore.
Dr. Samuels,
Yes.
if you had to get rid of one person in the room, who would it be? I mean a student.
I'll tell my mother.
I was just kidding. You know, I love all my kids.
You didn't answer the question.
No, I didn't.
Come on, let's go. Come on. There it is!
There what is?
Eddie Murphy's phone number.
What? How'd you do that?
I'm watching Saturday Night Live the other night. I figured they got computers, right? Computers, phone numbers. I broke in.
You can't do that. It's not allowed.
Are you kidding? Come on, Eddie, you'll love this. Yes, I'd like to speak to Eddie. Eddie Murphy? Yeah, it's Dennis Blunden, your main fan. How you doing? Oh, I was at the Hard Rock Cafe the other night, and Dan Aykroyd gave me your number. He's in Paris? Yeah, well, that's why I called you. There's a guy who looks just like Dan Aykroyd going around giving out your phone number to people, and I thought... Hello? I got Eddie Murphy. Name anybody I can call him.
Dan Aykroyd.
Why Dan Aykroyd?
We gotta tell him about the imposter.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I give you a man whose commitment to education is secondary only to his love of announcements.
Yeah. Gang, I have an announcement. A psychologist is testing all IHP classes in the New York City school system, and you're next. Of course, I expect you to make the rest of them look like a bunch of garbanzo beans.
Dr. Samuels, a psychological test is not a contest.
No, of course not. It's for research only.
We don't have the time.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Sir, you're my immediate superior. If you say take the test, I take the test.
Well, there you have it, Dr. Samuels. It's 9 against 1. I think that's democracy in action.
Fortunately, democracy has nothing to do with education. You will all take the test tomorrow. Remember, it's a psychological profile test. I will want to see the scores of well-adjusted, happy, socially adept personalities. You got that? Yes. I can't hear you.
Yes, Dr. Samuels.
Sorry I had to get ugly.
What is the big deal? I thought you were test junkies.
Yes, usually tests that get you into college or a job.
Uh-huh. Why waste all this time on a personality inventory?
Yeah, I know what my personality profile is. I took a test in Cosmo. Turns out I'm easily manipulated and the kind of person men just walk all over.
Cosmo. You don't take a personality test in Cosmo. You take it in the Inquirer. Yeah, how you tie your shoelaces reveals your personality.
Okay, I give up. How do you tie your shoelaces?
Now look, why don't we talk about the real reason? What are you afraid of?
Well, I guess it's just that people have always looked at us like we're freaks or something.
Yeah, you know, oddballs, weirdos, dweebs, nerds, gummies.
Well, first of all, you're exceptional. You're not freaks. At the very worst, you're mildly eccentric. But I see nothing wrong with taking a test that gives you some insight into your own personality.
Maybe he's right. It says on the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, not thy Satan.
What is that?
That's Greek for know yourself.
Exactly.
Well, you know, it's also written that ignorance is bliss.
Where?
I don't know.
Look, the more we know about ourselves, the better equipped we are to deal with the rest of the world, right?
Sure.
Right, true.
So relax. Just take the test.
Morning. Oh, Charlie Moore. This is Dr. Beth Weston. She's going to be testing your IHP class.
Hi, Beth Weston.
Please, no motel jokes.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I have a friend named Howard Johnson.
Now, after you complete the written portion, the individual interviews will begin. The most important thing to remember is that there are no right or wrong answers. They all come down to your own perception and choice. Yes.
So what's passing?
This isn't a pass-fail situation.
Then you'll be using ABC?
You're missing the point. These tests are to be measured only against those of other students with your capabilities.
So we're being graded on a curve, right?
I'm trying to tell you.
Dr. Weston, if I may.
Be my guest.
Okay, everybody, it's showtime. Eyes on the textbooks. Pencils in hand. Deep breaths. Ready? Begin.
Okay, Maria, this portion of the test is the oral personal profile.
Fine.
Are you nervous about something?
No, why do you ask?
You're twisting your hair.
Well, this just is an old habit. I could stop anytime I want. It's not like I have to do this or anything or some neurotic behavior. I mean, do you want me to stop?
Yes.
You're kidding.
I guess I was about 3 when I discovered my aptitude for perfection. Not that I don't have flaws, you just can't see them.
Well, I'm really a passive person. I abhor violence. I love delicate poetry, poignant moments in life. I cry easily. Well, of course you can tell I'm oversensitive.
Okay, what does this ink blot remind you of?
A dead puppy.
Okay, Eric, what's your favorite color?
Red.
Red. Really, why red?
Okay, blue.
Okay, Sarah, what do these 3 playing cards mean to you?
Let me see. A jack, a 3, and a deuce. That makes 15. Hit me with the little one.
Dennis, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I don't remember anything.
Okay, why don't you tell me about an unusual dream?
I don't dream.
Okay, what's missing from this picture?
Nothing.
Are you nervous about something?
I don't get nervous.
Are you afraid you're going to reveal something about yourself?
Yes.
Yellow.
These various geometric shapes fit somewhere into the puzzle. You have 3 minutes. Begin.
Would you like to see it again?
This is called the TAT.
Oh, the thematic apperception test. Ambiguous stimuli, where you invent a story based on a picture, and I tell you what happened before, during, and after the picture.
How did you know that?
Lucky guess?
Suppose I start a story and then you take over.
Okay.
There was a young man named Steve who more than anything else wanted to
Tell a certain girl that he loved her. And one afternoon, while they were walking through the park, he picked a flower and put it in her hair. And as they were about to kiss, it suddenly began to rain. Steve
turned into this blood-sucking, one-eyed zombie who terrorized his entire class. Steve placed a magic spell on them, which caused them to get younger as she got older. I mean, even his parents.
Couldn't understand how their son managed to win all 50 states, the Virgin Islands, and Guam in his first quest for the White House. They would always think he was basically
Superwoman. That's what Steve was looking for. He wanted nuclear war. And worse.
Leather pants, making him a groovy dude that his friends would like to hang out with. He even tried to grow a mustache so that he could look more like
Lori. Well, she's the one who's always chasing after Steve. She's hooked on him. And Steve appreciates that because, well, shy men with low self-esteem like women who are
inflatable. Because they don't have a brain. The Steves of the world want women to be helpless on one hand and independent on the other. It's confusing. Why can't we just be ourselves? Why can't we just be
pregnant with ideas filled with creativity? I mean, he wanted to write stories, you know, stories that made people think and feel and
cough. And with his dying breath, he whispered in her ear,
Could you lend me $5 till tomorrow? I didn't think so.
Television let people see McCarthy in action.
Excuse me, Mr. Moore. I came here to see Dr. Samuels, and I wanted to stop by and thank you all for taking the time for my test.
You're welcome. When do we find out how he did?
That's confidential.
Oh, so you want us to call you at home?
I don't think you're getting this. You don't see the results.
Why not?
That's rather technical.
Are you telling us that we don't have the mental abilities to comprehend our own test results?
I'll comprehend them for you and make my own interpretation.
Your interpretation? What about our interpretation?
Yeah. That's irrelevant.
Listen, I bet just this once you could bend the rules a little. I mean, we're not going to tell anybody, are we?
No. Bend the rules? Don't make me laugh. No one sees this but my computer at NYU. Well, I have a horrible ride on the subway coming up. I might as well get it over with. Goodbye.
Mr. Moore, can you think of any reason why we shouldn't know the results?
Yeah. Not really.
I can. The stuff she found out about us is too frightening.
Yeah, you know, that meeting with Dr. Samuels was probably about us.
Yeah.
Why don't I have a little talk with her, okay? Dr. Weston, I understand your rules, or at least the reasons behind them. But I think in this case you could make an exception. I mean, just let them in on it. Look, they have a lot of anxiety about being strange, and it would help if they knew they were fine.
They're fine.
Well, you see, with these kids, you have to be a little more specific.
They're fine.
Relax, guys. She said the magic words, NYU and computer.
Hey, you know, he can do it.
I can get it, but you gotta be cool. Don't say anything.
Great news. Everyone's fine. It's fine? What's going on?
Nothing. We're just relieved, that's all.
Great. Fine.
good, Dennis.
Good. To get us here a half hour early, it better be fantastic.
Bingo. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Weston's files.
Dennis, you're amazing.
I'll take amazing.
There it is.
Weston, Beth, Padnick test, Tuesday.
Look, the whole class.
But there's no names, just numbers.
It's all right, we can figure it out. Okay, subject 324. Displays signs of neurotic anxieties, unusually fearful, most likely prone to fits of depression. Who could that be?
Oh, well, sure, you guys. Guess me.
Whoa, well, listen to this one. Subject 331 represses anger, full of hostility, and capable of striking out in an unprovoked adolescent manner.
Who's that?
Oh, this is horrible. I mean, what if we're all crazy, but we don't know who's got what?
Here, listen to this one. Feelings of inadequacy, problems with individualization, minimal self-esteem, unfulfilled fantasy life.
What's wrong with that?
Wait. There's a little voice inside my head saying this isn't possible. I mean, everyone in the whole class can't be insane.
A little voice? Like the son of Sam?
We're in trouble.
Morning, everybody. As soon as you take your seats, we'll pick up where we left off yesterday with World War II. I think you are going to love today's lesson. It's strange as it sounds, this is a true story. It seems that early on, American psychologists discovered that Adolf Hitler was borderline psychotic with severe sexual problems. So the CIA, which was then called the OSS, wanted to drop tons of pornographic material on the Nazi headquarters in hopes der Fuhrer would freak out and the war would be over. But the Air Force refused to do this, saying, war is dirty, but it's not that dirty. Any thoughts, comments? Okay, what's wrong?
Oh, nothing, except that I found out I'm nervous, anxious, fearful, and the winner of the most likely to be manic depressed award.
Don't complain. That's not as bad as being a paranoid schizophrenic with a passive-aggressive personality division.
What are the two of you talking about?
The secret is out. We're beyond eccentric and into the valley of the rubber rooms.
This is angst over these tests.
Computers don't lie.
Arvid.
Did you hack into Dr. Weston's computer files?
I cannot tell a lie. No. Apparently I can. Yes, I did it. I realized it was wrong, but come on. It's our mental health we're talking about here.
Yeah, now we know why she didn't tell us.
This is absurd.
To you, maybe. They're not about to take away your shoelaces.
Well, I think you're overreacting to whatever it is you may have found.
Overreacting? There isn't one mental illness you can name that someone in this class doesn't have.
Okay, so you're a little different. I mean, psychologists put labels on people. You take me. You think I'm crazy?
No.
Okay, well, now I am unconventional, I'm creative, I'm a theater director, and I'm an actor, and I'm a history teacher. Now, that sounds like multiple personalities to me. See, if I were to take one of these tests and I didn't come out a little daffy, I think I would be worried.
That's a great idea.
What?
You taking the test.
No, I don't.
Yes!
It's not
Mr.
what.
Moore, it's the perfect solution. If Mr. Moore takes the test and it shows that he's cuckoo, we know we're fine.
Yes! Why don't you take Mr.
Listen, I don't think it's a good idea for
Why
me
would
to.
it be a good idea if we took the test?
Honest.
Mr. Moore, we took the test. Why can't you take it?
No, it's false.
It's only fair.
A fly. A fly. Fly. Screen door.
Why a screen door?
Too many flies in here.
Mr. Moore, I came in here early for this.
Yes, I know, and I appreciate it.
Want to start again?
Please. Fly.
White.
Chalk.
Door.
Open.
Mother.
Teresa. My mother's name is Teresa, really.
Okay, Charlie, I'm going to start a story and you take over.
Like improvisation? Great. I love it. I'm good at it.
Okay. There was a young man named Steve who more than anything else wanted to...
Steve, right? Just kidding. More than anything else, Steve wanted to feel secure in the world. Steve was a very bright student in high school. He was in a class for the gifted, but he felt different. Words like geek, and nerd, schnoid had been thrown in his face for so long. Naturally, he was a little nervous when he was asked to take a psychological test.
Steve.
Steve. Anyway, Steve is very anxious to share this newfound insight into his personality, but it's denied him by a rather rigid authority figure. And so he feels betrayed. So much so that he broke into the authority figure's computer files.
He broke into the computer?
Well, this is just a story.
Oh, yeah.
What he finds in the computer really alarms him.
Because it wasn't explained to him. It's a common overreaction.
Are you always this clinical?
I'm just stating a fact.
Oh, forget facts. I mean, you could say something human. Look, it really isn't that hard. I mean, if you wanted to make 11 instant friends, you're aware of how I've done on this test so far, right? Mm-hmm. I think my class would be very reassured to know that my psychological profile is just as bizarre as theirs, and that they have nothing to fear.
I really enjoyed giving Mr. Moore his battery of tests, just as I enjoyed yours.
How did he do?
Yeah, are his screws loose or tight?
The subject, Charlie Moore, while evidencing certain passive-aggressive defensive structures and histrionic traits.
Well, that's a relief. He's just as batty as the rest of us.
A relief? Everyone in this class is mentally disturbed. You call that good news?
Wait. You didn't let me finish. He is also a well-adjusted, emotionally stable, mature individual with strong positive socialization. Just like the rest of you.
Normal, like the rest of us? What about terms like paranoid, neurotic, and repressive?
Dr. Weston explained to me that buzzwords like this show up in every profile. I mean, guilt, hostility, mania, phobia, regression. For example, the test doesn't show if you're paranoid. It indicates your level of paranoia, and everybody has some.
But the bottom line is here, you're all nice, normal, reasonably well-adjusted teenagers with a few interesting quirks. And a reasonably well-adjusted, pleasantly weird teacher who, along with your help, taught me something very important. I should have been more sympathetic to your anxieties. I'm supposed to be in the business of relieving anxieties, not spreading them.
If it's all right with everyone else, I would like to apologize for us breaking into your computer. It was wrong, unethical, and even against the law. But it just seemed like a neat idea.
Apology accepted. I wasn't too surprised. I knew you all had latent criminal tendencies.
We do? What? She's just kidding.
Right. I'm trying to relate here. Mr. Moore, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Weston.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Mr. Moore, incidentally, I tested Dr. Samuels.
And?
Hubbub.
Well, that's settled. Let's get back to work. Okay? What's the matter, Maria?
Well, I don't know. I mean, before I was afraid I was a neurotic psychotic with paranoia. And now I'm just ordinary. It's like...
boring.
Gotta tell you the truth, I feel a little disappointed. I always like to think that I was something more than pleasantly weird.
It's depressing.
It is kind of depressing, yeah.
Wait a minute. Depression. It's not ordinary to be depressed, right? That's interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone in a room depressed? That's kind of unusual.
Well, you do have to be a little bit crazy to get depressed about not being crazy.
You know something, Mr. Moore? We're gonna be okay.
I think you are. I know I am. Help me, Mommy.
Come on, read it.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Blunden, Woodburn Condominium Estates cordially invites you to a complimentary champagne brunch on the side of our beautiful vacation home development.
And at no obligation. Just for being our guest, you will receive a free gift, a 19-inch color television set with remote control.
Wow. In addition, there will be a drawing for an all-expense-paid snorkeling vacation for two to the island of Bermuda.
Mm-hmm. We hope to see you and Mrs. Blunden this weekend, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, so?
So, I need a wife by next weekend.
Forget it. You couldn't support me in the manner to which I'm accustomed. Besides, they'll never believe you're married.
Oh, really? Fake driver's license, fake marriage certificate, fake wedding ring.
Dennis, are you really going to do all this just for a TV set?
No, it's not just for the color TV. Imagine me, Dennis Blunden, floating over the coral reef in Bermuda, snorkeling.
Isn't that dangerous?
Dangerous?
Yeah, you could get harpooned.
Well, let's get started here. I've got your essays on important historical assassinations, and Simone's paper on the murder of Napoleon was very impressive.
Especially since Napoleon died of natural causes.
Not quite, Alan. Arsenic.
Really?
How's that?
She cites a lot of medical evidence indicating that Napoleon's illness while in exile on the Isle of St. Helena was due to his being slowly poisoned.
One of the officers in his entourage was secretly working for the French royal family.
Sure. You know, you're always ready to blame everything on the rich.
Well, Janice, you find Napoleon boring, or are you just a royalist?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going over to Dvorak's cello concerto.
Well, I'm sorry. I was going over history. Since it is my class, I guess I win.
Mr. Moore, I have to be 100% ready. I'm challenging Christina Reed for first chair today. She's first cello and I'm second. If I win, it's the other way around.
Isn't she pretty good?
I can take her.
Oh, come on, Janice. Christina Reed is gonna blow your doors off.
Yeah, she's some kind of musical prodigy or something.
She's practically a genius.
But I am a genius. I'd be first chair by now if I'd been rigorous enough with myself.
Rigorous enough.
Mr. Moore, face it. I'm a gifted child. If I apply myself, I can do anything. And today at orchestra practice, I'm gonna kick some butt.
Now this I've got to see.
Good luck, Janice.
Yeah, Janice, good luck.
Okay. Today, I would like to begin discussions about the women's movement.
Amazing. Almost everyone played almost all the notes. Next time, we'll try to play some of them together. Now, before you go, we have a challenge for the first chair in the cello section. Our second chair, Janice Lazzarato, is the challenger, and the piece is Dvorak's Cello Concerto. I think we'll start with Christina.
Ready, Mr. Kimball.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you very much. That was very nice. Janice?
Wait.
Go ahead.
My string broke.
That's okay, really. It was very nice. Thank you.
I didn't finish.
No, really, it was fine. The part I heard was lovely.
You mean I win?
No.
That's not fair.
No, it is fair. I heard enough from both of you to make a decision.
I want to do it again. I can borrow her instrument.
No, really,
Now I understand the situation. I was blind, but now I see.
Janice.
Come on, we'll get out of the city for the weekend. We'll have a nice champagne brunch. We'll mingle.
Well, what's in it for me?
I understand they're giving the wives complimentary wrist corsages.
Dennis, come on. Do you honestly think that anyone's gonna believe I am your wife?
Simone, you know, when you and I get up to Woodburn Estates, we may actually decide to buy one of those condos.
Dennis, I couldn't go. I couldn't lie about being your wife.
You don't have to. Just stand by my side, look pretty, nod a lot, agree with everything I say, just like a real wife would do. Probably shouldn't have said the part about the real wife.
Probably not.
Not if they threaten to stick a steel spike through my eye.
There's an interesting no.
Forgetting someone, Dennis?
Why? What kind of cruel rejection do you have in mind for me?
None. I'd love to go. I think it'd be fun.
What's in this for you?
Nothing. I just think it'd be nice to spend a day in the country.
You mean it? Sarah, thank you, thank you. You know, this could be a very interesting weekend.
Back off, Bubba.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Okay, let's get pencils and papers ready. I've got a lot of statistics to get through today. Don't make me use the bullwhip, all right? Statistics that reflect the changing status of women in America. Percentage of men who say they are happier since divorce or separation, 58%. Wow. Women who say they are happier since divorce, 85%.
Wow. All that proves is that women are better liars.
Oh, yeah. Percentage of women who think they would do better than average in a fist fight, 27.
Great. Try selling tickets to a fight between Mike Tyson and Oprah Winfrey.
Janice, I don't read while you're talking, so.
Oh, sorry.
Law books?
Yes, I'm filing a civil suit against the school board, Mr. Kimball, Dr. Samuels, the music department, and 10 John Does. And I'm filing for an injunction to have the concert stopped if I don't get another challenge.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, really? Cooper versus Toscanini, Krebs versus Mantovani, Mingus versus Tazal. There are lots of cases where musicians had to seek justice in the courts. I'm fully prepared to file these before the close of business today.
On your own time, okay?
I can't. I have to finish filling out these forms.
Okay, Janice, outside, please.
I know the lawsuit is a long shot, but it is a way of making my point. I'm a victim.
A victim of what?
Favoritism. I popped a string. He used it as an excuse to stop my challenge. I could have won. He just likes her more. It's a clear-cut case of prejudice.
That's a serious charge, Janice.
Mr. Moore, you're always telling us about justice and standing up for what we think is right. Well, here is an injustice that won't go away. In the words of Martin Luther, hier stande ich kann nicht anders.
I really don't know how I can argue with that, Janice. So, in an attempt to lighten the caseload in court, why don't I talk to Mr. Kimball?
Mr. Moore, please, this is my fight.
Well, I'm not going to hit him. I'm just going to talk to him. Did she really have a chance at all?
Well, she's good. She's outstanding, but she just doesn't have that extra something that Christina has.
The gift.
Yeah, the gift. It's like magic. I don't know. You know, playing second cello in a large orchestra, even this one, is not too shabby.
Yeah, did you try pointing that out to her?
Oh, yeah. Tell that to little Miss Lazzarato. You mentioned second to her, she turns into the bad seed. Charlie, I love Janice. I'd like to see her happy, but I've got 60 kids here. I got to think of the big picture. You know, I got a concert coming up next week, and I have to be more concerned with the music than the juvenile genius.
Janice, wait here. Excuse me, Mr. Kimball. I hate to throw my weight around, be dictatorial or authoritarian, but every once in a while, as principal, I'm put in a position where I have to.
Afterwards, he feels dirty for weeks.
Would you excuse me, please? Mr. Kimball, you run a fine orchestra here. It's a genuine source of pride to me and to the school.
Well, thank you, Dr. Samuels. Actually, it's the best thing in my life. I can't imagine what I'd do without it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And that's why my ultimatum will be so effective. I want you to give Janice another audition. I'm not saying she has to win, but if it's close, you do what you think is right.
You can't be serious.
I have the psyche of a future Nobel Prize winner at stake here. Look at it like this, Kimball. If Janice doesn't get the audition, hey, life goes on. But we might see Mr. Wafting conducting the orchestra here. And you, sir, coaching the girls' hockey team. So, all I want is a nice, fair rematch.
It was fair.
Well, more fair. Capiche?
Okay.
Everybody happy?
Sounds fair to me.
Janice?
Miss Mira, this is a hypothetical question. Could you imagine yourself married to me?
Do you mean now?
Say by next weekend.
Well, Dennis, I guess it would cause quite a scandal. I mean, well, can you imagine an assistant principal weds high school student? I mean, we'd be social outcasts, pariahs in the community, no friends. Our families would turn against us. I'd lose my job. Of course, you'd have to quit school, get a job to support us, but we'd live quite simply, quietly. Oh, and no movies, no TV, mostly just you and I sitting around talking about where we went wrong. Dennis?
Forget it, Dennis. I'm not dressing up as a woman and pretending to be your wife.
Arvid, this is the 80s. Live a little.
Janice, I think we ought to have a little talk.
I know. You thought that was really slimy of me, going to Dr. Samuels.
Well, let's just put that aside for a moment, okay?
See, they play hardball, I play hardball.
That's one way of looking at it.
Christina's got Mr. Kimball wrapped around her little finger. I've got Dr. Samuels wrapped around mine. Wasn't pretty, but I had to defend myself.
What's the one thing I've always tried to teach you about history?
History isn't just what happens. It's who tells you what happens.
Right. So maybe we should look at this thing from a slightly different point of view. Huh?
Mr. Kimball's? He hates me, especially now.
He likes you a lot. I think he's just afraid that you won't be able to handle the truth.
Mr. Moore, I can handle anything.
Okay. You know, Janice, you're a very good cello player.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Christina, on the other hand, is a brilliant cello player. Hmm? Now, she is probably going to make it her life's work. Juilliard, New York Philharmonic. See, she has something that you don't quite have.
Yeah, Mr. Kimball's ear.
No, it's a little more than that. You know, if you would stop competing with her and just listen to her play, I mean, really listen, you'd understand what I'm telling you.
Mr. Moore, I've made my decision. At the challenge today, I waste her.
before we begin, there's been a new development in the ongoing soap opera within the cello section. As you recall, Miss Janice Lazzarato broke a string during her challenge for first chair, and since I'm a heck of a guy, I'm going to break my long-standing rule and allow her to challenge again. So, Janice, you can begin.
Mr. Kimball, I've changed my mind. I've been sitting here thinking about it, and I've decided I'm not going to challenge Christina for first chair. I'm going to leave the orchestra.
Janice. Listen, I'd hate to think it was something I said that made you quit the orchestra.
I guess that's because of what you said. I really listened to Christina play. And for a change, my ears weren't plugged up with jealousy, envy, and spite.
Yeah, she's pretty good, isn't she?
Good? I don't want to get too technical, but next to her, I stink.
Second chair is quite a distance from stinking.
Doesn't matter anymore. I will never play the cello again.
Well, that's a shame.
Look on the bright side. It'll be a lot easier getting a seat on the subway.
Yeah, I guess that is a pretty good reason to quit the orchestra.
I just can't stand being next to Christina knowing she's better than I am.
Janice, look, Christina's on her way to being a professional musician. Now, you're on your way to running a space program, but you're an amateur musician.
Not only an amateur, a has-been.
Okay, you're the Latin scholar. Now you think about amateur.
Well, it comes from amateur, meaning someone who loves something.
Right. Somebody who loves something, not somebody who's lousy at something, but loves something, like you love playing the cello. I can't believe you would really give that up. I tell you what would be important to me was not whether I was number 1 or number 2 or number 6, but just being in the middle of that orchestra and playing that beautiful music.
That was what we in the music world refer to as a train wreck. Let's try to get this thing back on the rails, okay?
I think Janice has a couple of words she'd like to say.
Go ahead, Janice.
I don't really want to leave the orchestra. I love the orchestra. And I don't plan to challenge Christina for first chair anymore. I heard her practice and I realized what a fantastic player she is. And so if you'll take me back, I'd be proud to play next to her. Maybe I can learn something.
Back in that chair, you big lug.
supposed to do?
Just help out. Add a few pointers. Give the female mystique.
Okay, come on, let's try and be helpful.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, Dennis, come on out.
How do I look? So you don't think it'll work, huh?
Dennis, there's no way you can pass for a girl.
Sorry, Dennis. You just weren't made for high heels.
Arvin, I feel so sorry for you having to play.
Still here, huh? Good night, Arvid.
Good night.
Girls.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And now we see a great river city of 1960. Here is an American city replanned around a highly developed, modern traffic system. We see some suggestion of the things to come. A world with a future in which all of us are tremendously interested. Because that is where we are going to spend the rest of our lives.
There you have it, boys and girls, ladies and gents, the 1939 World's Fair.
Wow, it's amazing how close they were with their predictions.
Yeah, they were right about people having phones in their cars.
They were just wrong about the long cords.
I'd like to know what you think you'll see in the year 2038.
No more hunger.
I see a day when nobody's the first black anything anymore.
Yeah. I see mutation. A horrible endomorphic nightmare descending upon us, cutting off all light, all life. Oh, it's here.
Excuse me, Mr. Moore. Dennis, I have good news for you.
Julia Child's the head chef at the cafeteria?
You're a finalist in the competition for a summer internship at NYU's Experimental Physics Lab. All you have to do is beat out the other 4 kids and it's yours. There's a test this weekend.
No problem. Might as well tell the other contestants to call it off. Wouldn't want to see him waste their subway fare.
That's my boy. Arvid, you help him study.
Hey, we could be study buddies.
No, thanks anyway, Arv. I don't need any help.
Oh, yeah? You're up against Wang, Wang, Chang, and Epstein.
What? That should accelerate your particles.
As you were.
Okay, tomorrow's Back to the Future, so do a little research, use your imaginations, have some fun, and bring in an educated guest or two, okay? Dennis? Listen, you would like to be excused from this assignment so you can concentrate on this test thing this weekend. Say so.
Thanks, Mr. Moore, but hey, it's me. No problem. Just like walking and chewing gum at the same time.
Okay, if you change your mind, let me know. I don't want you to spread yourself too... Good morning, everybody. How goes the future today?
I'll tell you tomorrow.
Arvid?
Well, hey, the future looks great. We got genetic engineering, gene splicing, replacement of body parts.
We'll be able to fly from New York to Tokyo in 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it'll take you 3 hours to get to the airport.
Right. Bionic body parts. You could have a whole drawer full of spare eyes and ears and noses.
Maybe a plastic heart, like Darlene's.
Well, future doesn't sound so bad. Well, Mr. Blunden, to what do we owe this honor?
You people have been chosen for a cosmic visit from Omega Blunden, man of the future.
Well, we're very flattered, Omega Blunden. Is there anything you care to tell us?
Well, to begin with, there is no more war. Anyone even attempting to begin a war is forced to watch reruns of The New Monkeys. Also, scientists have determined that long marriages are hazardous to your health. Therefore, all women are required to marry a new man every Tuesday.
Even with the law on your side, I bet you're still single.
Man of the future does not acknowledge your primitive jokes. And not only that, it is against the code of Nibor to participate in any form of obesity humor. So, no. Also, we biological units no longer require sleep. All we need are dreams, which can be easily obtained from the dream extractor. Watch as I demonstrate. Ooh, ooh, whoa, ooh. Yeah, what? I'm zabbling, whoa. That was dream number 1.04. I can't do it too often or my ecto-wibbler will fall off.
Well, it's certainly been fascinating visiting with you, Omega Blunden. Perhaps you could make your ancient ancestor Dennis Blunden materialize?
No problem. What'd you guys think of my future?
At least to dress better.
You know, I found it long on imagination, a little short on useful information.
Dennis, you have a big test on Saturday. How did you have time to put this costume together?
I stayed up all night working on this thing.
Wait.
That's what you were doing instead of meeting me to study?
Hey, come on, Art. You know I can ace that test with one lobe tied behind my brain.
Well, here, I brought you this book.
New vectors in physics.
Profiles of today's hottest young physicists.
I don't need this.
Dennis, in there are profiles of Wang, Wang, Chang, and Epstein. This could help you.
Et tu, Sarah? Look, I don't need to study. What is with you people? I show a little creativity on one assignment. Everybody's jumping down my throat.
Well, Dennis, it's a big honor, and in a sense, you're representing the whole IHP.
Dennis,
Oh, look, why don't you people just relax and give me a break? I'll be fine. Mr. Moore, I gotta hand it to you. This future stuff is fun.
What is so fun about toxic waste? Or acid rain? Or even nuclear war?
3 of my favorite rock bands.
That's another thing. Indifference.
You know, Maria does make a point. These are serious concerns, and they do cloud our future.
Mr. Moore, that's like saying there's going to be a future.
Don't you think you're being a little pessimistic?
Well, how can I not be? Take the ozone layer, for instance.
I thought they fixed that.
It's worse. Look at the economy. Economic collapse is right around the corner. There's depression, there's famine, there's war.
Come on, guys, lighten up. This is the most creative assignment we've ever been given. It's fun, it's exciting, it's important. I'm with you, Mr. Moore. I eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff.
Well, I'm flattered, Omega, but Dennis should remember that he does have a test on Saturday.
Well, no perspiration, instructor. It's in the paper sack.
Dennis, it's not in the bag, okay? Look, forget the funny costume and forget the funny voice. But don't forget that you have this competition that seems to be fairly important to you.
Got it.
Dennis?
Okay.
So, how's tomorrow going today? Any better?
Well, we got it narrowed down to two possibilities. Brushfire war in the Middle East, drawing the superpowers into a global nuclear holocaust.
Let me tell you a little story. Student says to his teacher, what was that you were telling us yesterday about the sun exploding? Teacher says, I said the sun could explode in 5 billion years. Student says, thank God, I thought you said 5 million years.
Mr. Moore, Maria made us realize that there are forces at work beyond our control.
You know, she could be right.
There will always be forces beyond our control. I'm not saying that you can change the future, but how you approach it does make a difference.
Mr. Moore, can I say something? I've been thinking, and I've decided we gotta look at things with a new perspective here. I always wanted to be a scientist because I thought that maybe in some small way I might be able to help my fellow man. But the more I sit in this room and I listen to you people, people who I trust, people who I respect, the more I realized how blind I've been. Science today is just a tool in the hands of the superpowers. All they want to do are build things like Star Wars and lasers and beam weapons in space.
But what about superconductors and chaotic physics and the theory of everything? Boy, Dennis, you're in a bad mood.
No, I'm not. I'm just being realistic, Janice. I have just come to the realization that those people out there are using me for their evil ends. Well, I'm not going to have any part of it. I'm dropping science from this point on. I'm going to take, no, I mean it, and I'm going to take up something nice like horticulture or needlepoint or maybe teaching the tango.
Yeah, weapons development isn't the only thing that's...
Look, hey, I have made my decision, folks. I am off science. I'm not even taking that test.
Oh. Dennis, you don't
Come
have
on.
that.
Free at last. Free at last.
Okay, we have a dentist problem. Only this time it isn't some childish prank like, whoa.
Like reprogramming the school's computer so we had fire drills every half hour.
This is different.
Yeah, not like the time you had all the report cards printed in Norwegian.
Yeah, I think I know what's going on.
Even I know what's going on. The trick is to do something about it.
Dr. Samuels, you know, Dennis tends to get creative with his anxieties.
A lot of kids go through things like this.
Yeah, I think this will be over by Sunday.
The test is Saturday.
This is definitely not your typical dentist. That is your typical dentist.
Maria, you got me so depressed, I yelled at my father last night.
Why?
He handed me a bologna sandwich.
So?
Well, don't you see? Well, it's a metaphor for everything that's wrong in the world today. I mean, there's nitrites, nitrates, artificial coloring, preservatives. I mean, everything that's real is gone, and the stuff that's left will kill you. I don't think it's right when a food has a shelf life longer than the people who eat it.
We're being faced with a world that's a total disaster. This is what the people who are running the world are leaving us? How dare they?
Yes. You're right. I mean, we're sitting here with our hands tied where they just destroy the whole planet. I mean, what's going to be left for us?
Well, don't worry about it, because after they drop the bomb, it'll be up to the cockroaches.
Yeah. Great. First one up has to get the nomination. A little political humor.
That's easy for you to joke about. You're old.
Yeah, Mr. Moore, you've led a full life. We're being nipped in our buds.
Yeah. More future shock, huh?
They're right, Mr. Moore. Our lives are meaningless.
And it's all your fault.
Mine.
Your generation.
You've ruined the world. Pretty soon you'll be bailing out and we're stuck with it.
Personally, I'm not planning on bailing out in the near future. I have a few books I want to read, some plays that I'm going to direct, and I do have assignments to grade.
Well, if you're talking about this assignment, you'll have one less to grade.
Yeah. Mr. Moore, I agree with Darlene, with all due respect.
Yeah.
We do not want to do it.
That's right. I don't see any point in... Though if you really have your heart set on it, Mr. Moore, I don't see any reason.
No, I'd rather talk about soap.
What?
Oh, what? Yeah, I wonder if anybody in this class can tell me how this cheap, not very good smelling bar of carbolic soap changed the course of history.
Mr. Moore, aren't you going to say anything about the future assignment?
No, I'm supposed to be teaching history, the past. So let's go back to the 1850s, okay? What was life like then?
It was short. So are most people.
Because of poor medicine and malnutrition.
The 12-hour workday was common.
Daycare meant your kids worked at the factory with you.
Okay, we get it. So what you're saying, Mr. Moore, is that life stinks, and it always has, so get used to it. And that's what the future is all about.
No, this is what the future was all about. Now, let's jump ahead to the 1950s, okay? Average lifespan.
70 years.
Typhoid, measles, polio.
Gone. Vaccines were developed.
Uh-huh. What about that 12-hour workday?
Down to 8 hours and no more child labor.
And we had museums, we had a lot of libraries, and television. In the 1950s, you could turn on your TV set and see practically anything.
Except a black person.
Well, there's room for improvement. But usually, if a lot of people work to solve a problem, it gets better. Huh?
Forget it, Mr. Moore. Things are different now.
We've got problems in the world now that are unsolvable.
You know, people have been saying that all through history, and yet these problems keep getting solved. Where have you been?
Just been walking through the park, visiting my old pals, the trees, saying goodbye to good old Mother Earth.
Saying hello to a couple of hot dog stands?
You know, Dennis, I believe that your friends, the trees, may stick around a little longer. Why don't you listen to this discussion, see if you agree, okay? Somebody tell me how this bar of soap changed history.
Puccini wrote the first soap opera?
See, in the 1800s, hospitals were terrifying places. People checked in, they didn't always check out. I mean, you went in with one thing, while you were there, you contracted everything else. Now, it's very depressing, but that's the way things were. And everyone accepted it. Save one person, Joseph Lister. Now, he believed that infection was being passed patient to patient by doctors. So he said, hey, guys, in between operations, use this. They did. A new concept was born. Coming home from the hospital. So one day, maybe somebody here will say, hey, guys, do this, and the ozone layer will be preserved. Or it'll cause peace to break out. Each one of you has that kind of potential within you. Don't give it up so easily.
Okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe at least trying to do something is better than talking about how awful it is.
All right. So, are we doing the assignment?
Yes.
Dennis?
What?
Dennis, let's just say maybe there will be a future, okay? And quite possibly, physical sciences will play a positive role in it. And we both know that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. So what do you say?
About what?
You know what.
I say you're absolutely right. I've been a fool walking around talking to trees. There is a job to do, and I'm going to be working on this future project 24 hours a day. I won't let you down, Mr. Moore.
Dennis?
You know what we can start off with? We can start off by doing, perhaps, with a talk with me and Mr. Moore in the hall.
I think so. Now, you don't expect me to believe that you've been wandering around depressed over the fate of the universe, do you?
No, but I am depressed.
Competition.
I guess so.
Why?
4 reasons.
Wang, Wang, Chang, and Epstein?
They're good. Darn good. Darn good. Mr. Moore, they're killers. I don't have a chance.
Well, not if you're not there.
Do you know anything about physics at all?
Well, I'm familiar with Archimedes' second principle. Body is totally immersed in water. The phone is bound to ring.
Ever read New Vectors in Physics? I am competing against the best guys in the city. I could get my legs broken. I mean, what if I'm humiliated? I could come in last place.
Dennis, last place amongst the 5 best minds in New York City is not too shabby. See, right now, you're a big fish in a small pond. You're comfortable. And I don't think that you're going to know how good you are till you get in a pond with some other fair-sized fish.
I know my limits.
No, you don't. And I don't think you will until you risk something.
I appreciate what you're saying, Mr. Moore, but if it's all the same to you, I'd just like to stick with this future project.
Dennis, that's a choice that you get to live with. It's your future.
Good evening. Darlene Merriman for the 21st Century News Service. This is Friday, March 10th, 2038. The scientific team of Blendon, Engen, Lazzarato announced their discovery that the hairspray layer, which replaced the ozone layer, is just as effective in keeping out the gamma rays and also eliminates the frizzies.
Sarah Nevins, U.S. Ambassador to Ethiopia, today announced that surplus grain would be shipped to Iowa to help with a shortfall in that state's harvest. This is the 10th year in a row that Ethiopia has had a surplus crop, thanks to the Engen system of planting, based on mathematical equations too complex to be discussed in this limited time.
Athletes from all nations began arriving in South Africa today in preparation for the opening ceremonies of the Summer Olympics at Nelson Mandela Memorial Stadium. The combined Israeli-Palestinian team looks impressive in track and field, with a strong challenge from the all-Irish team. In basketball today, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, age 91, announced that this would be his last season in the NBA.
ABC Television today announced a new episode of Moonlighting is in the works for next year. This brings to 12 the number of episodes in the last decade.
Very impressive. What about the wrap-up anchor, Dennis Blendon?
Well, actually, Mr. Moore, I haven't done the assignment. But I could wing something, if you guys don't mind.
Sure, great.
Let's see. The year 2038. The world is a better place today because a bunch of high school kids grew up and helped make it that way. As it turns out, they all had the same teacher, a fellow by the name of Moore or something. He told them about soap. And in fact, one of those kids grew up to be pretty important in the science world, a fellow by the name of Blendon something or other.
All right.
Wonderful. So, if you don't mind, Mr. Moore, I'd like to be excused so I can get back to the library where I have been studying like a madman to pass the test for this physics internship. I realized it's something I wanted, and I never would have forgiven myself for not taking the chance to get it. It's also a good excuse to get out of class. Mr. Moore?
Get out of here, you big lug. I didn't mean it that way. Morning.
Morning.
So?
So?
How did it go?
How'd what go?
I'll kill you, so help me.
We don't get the results till next week, but I think I did all right.
Ah, Wang, Wong, and Chang, all they cracked up to be?
They were okay. But Epstein, fantastic.
Yeah. Maybe you'll come in second.
Maybe better than that. It's Marjorie Epstein. I got a date with her Friday night.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
Well, why stop now?
Don't wear the Omega Man suit.
Really?
Today, we begin our discussion of those fabulous 50s.
Fabulous? I heard it was the most boring decade in history.
Well, that's why we're going to talk about it, Dennis. Was it boring if you were involved in the beginning of the struggle for civil rights? If you were part of the Korean peace talks? Was it boring if you lost your job because of Senator McCarthy's witch hunt?
Was it boring when Pat Boone sang Tutti Frutti?
Yes. I'll give you that.
Excuse me, Mr. Moore.
Yes, do come in.
Thank you. I just want to take a moment to congratulate you on completing your training program and to give you your certificates. You are now officially peer counselors. Now remember, a peer counselor is not a psychologist. You talk with the other kids about the things that are bothering them, and either you try to help them work things out, or you refer them to someone who can. Now, of course, if somebody is in physical jeopardy or could cause harm to another or really has a serious problem, I want you please to come to either Mr. Moore or to me. Otherwise, anything that you hear is strictly confidential.
May I add a small note?
Oh, please.
I think it's a great idea. But I just want to say I don't think you should go out there expecting to save everyone. I mean, it's not that easy. There are serious problems, and simply because you've had a couple of weekends of training doesn't mean you're equipped to handle those kinds of problems.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm not ready for this. Oh, I think I'm having an anxiety attack.
Arvid, take some deep breaths. Remember, Arvid, that we all have the same fears and apprehensions. Arvid, these people are our own age. They're not judging us. They just want somebody to listen to them.
I think you're right, Sarah. Hey, thanks a lot. I feel a little better.
Sarah, you're good. Well, I guess I have the gift. Okay, I've got looks, I've got a body, but there's got to be more, you know?
Really? Yeah, more.
Sometimes I just refuse to go out. I spend the whole weekend lying around in my nightie, reading and eating popsicles. Can you imagine?
I feel so inadequate.
I know.
I think it's because of my parents.
I know.
They're so critical.
Yeah, I know.
What's wrong with me?
Nothing. It's your parents.
Hi, TJ. My name is... Who gives a flying fat burger? What's your name? Miss Bernadette Do-Gooder sent me here to take a rap for a bad attitude. I did the crime, so I'm doing my time. For rich girls like you who play the I'm white game, give me a major pain and my black is beautiful butt. Hey, lighten up. I don't play that game. Oh, yeah, Miss Wannabe? That's why you're sitting here trying to get an A on your assignment to out-Mother Teresa. Look, TJ, I think we got off on the wrong foot here. You did. I didn't. I know what we're here for. I'm what is called extra credit. I'm a rung on your ladder to graduation, college, and house in the burbs. So get real, Camille. You kids get special classes, special books, special trips. You walk around this school like Samuel's pet poodles. Okay, we get some privileges, but I'm not gonna feel guilty about that because I work hard. I've had some rough times too, okay? So what? You take the lemons and you throw them at people. Me, I take the lemons and I try to make lemonade. Nice. I saw it on Peanuts. TJ. I'm sorry. Look, why don't we call it a tie and start over, okay? You ain't getting it, Gidget. I ain't no one's special project, free ride, or lost dog. I'm me, see? That's what TJ's about. Session over and out. I'm here if you need me.
I know you'll like this collection. It's new literature of the 50s.
Excuse me.
It's
See you at 4, Eric.
yeah, see it. All the poets, Ginsberg, Ferlinghetti, Corso.
4:20.
And I'll be there. Playwrights like John Osborne and Leroy Jones. Plus.
Hi, Eric. 4:40, don't forget.
I won't, Jerry Southern. What's happening, Eric?
Oh, it's peer counseling, Mr. Moore. Yeah, I never realized there are so many needy girls out there.
Eric, are you sure you still want to go out with me Saturday night? Maybe you'll be too busy helping the needy.
Simone, I'm like a doctor. I'm doing very important work here.
Someone should phone the Nobel Prize Committee.
I feel foolish taking up your time with my complaining.
Oh, complain. Complain.
It's just that I'm so lonely, you know?
Yeah. No. You?
I go out with football players, basketball players, guys of every athletic inclination, but I still feel so alone. No one understands me. But you, Arvid. Funny, isn't it?
Hilarious.
My mom says I'm a slob. She says my room looks like a garbage dump. I tried to convince her it was performance art, but she wouldn't go for it.
Well, Jeff, you are a slob. But you've come to the right person. I myself will sometimes go 4 to 5 weeks between room overhauls.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How?
Well, it's easy. You got to be able to sense out the situation. You got to be able to find that moment when your parents are just about ready to kick you out of the house.
And then you clean up?
No. Then you buy your mother a gift. Now, it doesn't matter what the gift is, just as long as you be sure to include a note that says, I love you, Mom. You do that, and I guarantee you an extra 2 weeks of underwear hanging on your lamp.
Dude, you're my hero.
Well, we got a lot of time left. Hungry?
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Hi, TJ. Glad to see you. Welcome, TJ. I'm here to help. Hey, TJ, what it is? Same song, second verse. Miss Mira's got this thing about my attitude. Wants me to turn into Miss Peppy Pants like you. You know, TJ, I bet we got a lot more in common than you think. Like what? Besides, we're both breathing. Well, I like movies. Too long. I watch TV. I love a nice, juicy hamburger. Hot dogs better. A summer day. Too hot. Spring. Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan. Alice Walker. Langston Hughes. Janet Jackson. Latoya. Wait a minute, I heard something. Huh? I heard you say Langston Hughes. He's a poet. You read poetry. So what? Just because I'm in the bonehead class doesn't mean I don't read or write. You write poetry, too? I didn't say that. You didn't deny it. Come on, TJ, read me something of yours. You don't read it, baby. You rap it. So rap it. You really want to hear this? Yeah. Okay. Girl in the street, no cold and no heat. A crazy outlook, a torn up book, but she can't compete. Girl on fire with her desire. See stars there and bars there. She'll go much higher. That's enough. TJ, what are you stopping for? What are you pretending you're interested for? I am interested. You have something to say. No one cares what I have to say. How do you know that? Because of where they put me. In the sit down and shut up class. Remedial? It's cool. They don't bother me, and I don't bother them. Are you sure you like it that way? Well, do you? I gotta go.
Sarah, I can't show you TJ's file. That would be a definite invasion of privacy, which would be a violation of District Code number 427.
I just have a feeling that there's more to TJ than an encyclopedia of insults.
Well, of course there is. I mean, she was an honor student all the way through the 6th grade. She made straight A's, and then all of a sudden, her grades just started dropping. And now it looks like all she's passing is homeroom and phys ed.
What happened?
Sarah, that's confidential. I cannot tell you.
Wait a minute. That's it? A former honor student has practically dropped out of school and nobody cares?
We care, Sarah. But sometimes a student gets lost in the system because not enough time or teachers or resources. That's why what your class is doing is so important. I mean, maybe, just maybe, you can really help this girl. Yes.
Mr. Moore, I need your help. Or TJ does. You see, she's stuck in a class where she doesn't belong. In a life where she doesn't belong. I found out that she used to get straight A's. Then, suddenly she's in remedial. I want her to know that there's a way to get back. You know, I think that she should be around people who like to read and learn and discuss things. You know, people who have ideals, people who have dreams.
Mm-hmm. Like the IHP.
That's it. She needs to sit in on our class. That'll help her. That'll really inspire her. That'll turn her whole life around. Mr. Moore, if anybody can do it, you can. What a great idea.
You what?
I invited TJ to sit in on our class. Well, I think she's a really smart and sensitive girl who's just gotten some bad breaks. And I think she could get a lot out of seeing what a really good class is like.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Moore, do you condone this?
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Okay, but you all have to promise to be nice to her.
We'll be very understanding, Sarah. I'm sure we all know what it's like to feel out of place. We'll make her feel welcome, loved, and nurtured.
Don't make her feel nauseous. Just be nice to her. Here she comes. Hey, I'm TJ.
Hi, TJ.
What is this? An AA meeting?
Oh, hi, TJ. Welcome to class. I'm glad you could come. Why don't you find a seat?
Sit over here.
TJ, is it true that the rats in the projects are as big as dogs?
Janice. Yeah, we call our Spot.
Spot.
Well, it's very nice you can visit, TJ. Sarah has said so many nice things about you.
That's a nice coat you're wearing, TJ.
Stop it with the nice crap. I must be the first nasty person who's ever sat in here.
Hey, what am I, John Denver?
You ain't that hip.
TJ, you've got a wonderful mean streak that I find awfully attractive.
Like I care what a boob with bangs thinks.
Should take a seat, Dennis. No, I wouldn't push it. Now it's probably time for me to start teaching. Eisenhower. You know, many people said that he was slightly more somnolent than Calvin Coolidge.
You know, Mr. Moore, there's this really delightful anecdote I heard somewhere when Dorothy Parker heard she was a famous writer. When Dorothy Parker heard that Coolidge had died, she said, "Oh, really? How can they tell?"
What's so funny?
Well, Coolidge was so quiet, so boring.
I get the joke, but I don't think it's funny. It's stupid.
Where do you get the right to call Dorothy Parker stupid?
I ain't calling Dorothy Parker stupid. I'm calling you stupid.
Mr. Moore, could we please get through 2 minutes of this class without her butting in?
Yeah.
Excuse me, when did butting in become this radical concept for this class? I mean, as long as we are slowed down for a moment, perhaps we could reflect on the words patronizing and rude.
So you want me to shut up, right?
No, I'm talking about them, too.
Yeah? Yeah, they're real smart here in the smart class. But let me tell you something. When somebody comes into the dummy class, we don't put them down for not being dumb enough. I gotta go.
Okay, back to Eisenhower. And tomorrow, we'll take a whimsical look at Lyndon Johnson, the playful and very public president who preferred to hold his press conferences in the bathroom. Don't forget those essays. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you. Bye, Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore, I'm sorry. I mean about TJ. I'm sorry I pushed her off on you.
I think having her in class made for a couple of interesting moments. I mean, TJ is very smart. She's fearless, and she's honest. I mean, these are all things that it takes to make a great scholar. I'm not sure she wants to be one, but...
Yeah, well, doesn't matter now. It's like you said, some people you just can't help.
No, I never said that. I said, don't expect to save everyone. See, saving's kind of one way, but helping people's a two-way street. And making some real progress with her.
Mr. Moore, how can you say that after she ripped the class to shreds?
She came to class, didn't she?
Well, yeah.
Well, I think it'd be a shame to turn around and walk away now.
Mr. Moore, the way she acts, it just makes me furious.
Well, I'm sure some of the things you and the others do make her pretty angry, too.
Well, like what?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure she'd be glad to tell you. Look, it seems to me maybe you've reached somebody here that nobody has paid attention to for maybe years. So I think you should keep doing it.
Oh, TJ, I've been looking for you.
Yeah? Well, thanks for nothing, man. That action in your class today was a total disaster. You really know how to make a person feel like sludge.
Wait a minute. TJ, I thought it would be nice for you. You know, you were welcome to stay for the whole class.
Well, isn't that a dream come true? Sit in a nice clean desk with no dirty words carved in it. Everyone dressed like it was Easter Sunday. And a teacher who treats you better than your own mama. And an hour later, I get sent back to the real world. And that's the last I see at Disneyland.
But that's not the way I meant it to be. You know, you could be in a better class. You could be in IHP.
Yeah, and Dr. Samuels could be Mr. Universe.
Now, you may have the personality of a pit bull, but one thing you are is intelligent. And I thought I could help you do something with that. Well, I'm sorry if I went about it all wrong.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry if I made you feel like a mush-brained dweeb in front of your whole class.
Wait a minute. All right. Apology accepted. Friends?
I mean, what do you think she meant, Mr. Moore?
I think she wants you to ask her out.
Oh, I was afraid of that. I can't. I mean, we have a client-therapist relationship here that can't be violated by the intrusion of my obvious animal magnetism. And then, of course, there's the moral issue, the psychological implications, and furthermore, oh, God, Mr. Moore, I have to have the girl. Please tell me it's okay.
Don't ask me to do that. Now, you yourself just said it would be unfair to ask her out based on information you got in a session.
She started it. All right, Miss.
Morning. Hi. Kate, as soon as you're ready, we're going to dive headlong into 1963 when Lyndon Johnson... Excuse me. Hello? 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 I have a history class over here.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Moore. Peer counseling.
Uh-oh. Call security.
I thought I'd give you a second chance. So what you doing? Copying garbage off the board or garbage out of a book?
Actually, we're discussing the Johnson administration.
Oh, garbage out of Washington.
You know, actually, it was during the Johnson administration that a book was first published, The Fire Next Time. This book examined racism in a completely new way. And the author of the book, who had a great deal in common with another social commentator at the time, Tom Wolfe.
Bull.
I'm sorry?
I said bull. You want me to go to Dr. Samuel's office or straight home?
No, I want you to tell me why you think it's bull.
I just got kicked out of a class for saying bull.
You can say bull in here, but you have to be able to back it up.
Okay. It's like this. See, the dude you're talking about is James Baldwin, man. Except he ain't nothing like Tom Wolfe. Baldwin grew up poor in Harlem with 9 brothers and sisters and a stepdaddy who couldn't stand his guts. He made it on his own, worked loading boxcars. His mama was a maid, didn't have time to tell him to do his homework and don't be late for school, and someday you can be a writer. I just know you can. Shoot, there's food on the table and everybody's sitting around it in one piece. You're doing all right. That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? I do, TJ. I was pushing you, wasn't I? You were giving me a Park Avenue answer to a 129th Street problem. I'm sorry. Forget it. You're all right. And for a teacher, you're all right, too. This is the first time I ever got to say more than 3 words in class.
Well, that's a damn shame. You got some good ideas.
Yeah, you know, I'm starting to dig this class. In here, you sit next to a computer. In my class, I sit next to a guy with a tattoo that says born to drool. These are my kind of people. Even the slob and the snob. Sign me up.
Well, it's a good idea, TJ, but it's not that easy. You got a lot to do before you can get into this class. You got to bring your grade level up.
Who says I can even do it? I do. Yeah? That's pretty fresh.
Well, you know, I bet there's some other people who'd be willing to help you.
We help TJ. Yeah. Why? Do you get some kind of extra credit for it?
No. Although it's not a bad idea.
Look, you do your part. They'll do theirs. I'll talk to Miss Mira and Dr. Samuels about your situation, okay?
You got a deal. Well, better get going.
What's your hurry? You can stick around till class is over, if it's okay with everybody else.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. And, TJ, I just gotta ask you this. Who does your hair?
Okay, back to Linda Nelson.
Mr. Moore, I just want you to know that my counseling session went great today and everything worked out.
I'm glad to hear it, Arvid. I guess you let her down easily, huh?
Yeah. You know, but I do think I had some influence on her.